with her, and she is a teasy, saucy little minx. So before the break, she was talking about what we're going to see at this J6 hearing Wednesday. You were talking about Adam Schiff. You just said the key element that he talked about we were going to hear about Wednesday. And you said perhaps they have new info on what Raskin referred to as a significant detail, something Ginni Thomas was involved in along with Kelly Ward. A judge just ruled the 1-6 committee can have her phone records. That's Gohmert's lawsuit against Mike Pence. So tell us what you mean by that.
Well, there is all sorts of new information we know the committee has with regards to Kelly Ward from Arizona and her husband, Michael. And then, of course, Ginni Thomas has agreed to sit with for an interview, but hasn't been interviewed yet. I don't know how fruitful that will be. But something that they were all wrapped up in is that Gohmert lawsuit, which both Raskin and Schiff have called on numerous occasions a key piece of the puzzle. And they said we might see new information with regards to a key piece of the plot and how it relates to another plot. And as we know, the plot to pressure Pence was part of that Gohmert lawsuit, was to get Pence to say whether or not he was going to throw out electors, is part of the fraudulent elector scheme. And so I think we might hear a little bit about Gohmert's lawsuit and some of the people involved with that, along with those Secret Service text messages, Roger Stone, and then, of course, funding of 1-6. I think they're looking into that as well.
Let's talk about the, obviously we're talking about the Denver Riggleman, who was a Republican, which is why it was interesting. It was on 60 Minutes. He was a key staffer for the House Select Committee on January 6th, discovered the White House switchboard passed through to the phone of a Capitol rioter while the attack was in Congress. He is a ex-military intelligence officer. He oversaw a data-driven operation for the J6 committee pursuing phone records and other digital clues tied to the attack. So he talked to the committee, but what he said is you get a real aha moment when you see that the White House switchboard had connected to a rioter's phone while it's happening. That's a pretty big aha moment. I only know of one end of that call. I don't know the White House end, which I believe is more important. But the thing is, the American people need to know are there any links that need to be explored more? Travis, what was the latest thing we heard this morning? Is we think
CNN has the identity of the person, and apparently the person had already left the building at the time the call was made. I don't have the name right in front of me at the moment.
Yeah. How significant do you think that's going to be?
A lot of people on Twitter, including Weissman, a lot of people on the committee are saying that this is an insignificant 9-second phone call. If it were important, we would have told you about it. But they aren't telling us what it's about. And so I think probably the right thing to do would be not to tell us to calm down without telling us why we should calm down.
Right. 9 seconds is enough time to say, oh, this is coming from the White House. We probably should hang up.
Doesn't matter. Who cares how long the call was? It's a call from the White House to the riot. Like, just tell us why it's not important, and we'll leave you alone about it.
Right. Yes. Hi, I'm a rioter. Could I speak to blank at the White House? Oh, we should hang up. This is probably being recorded.
Number. Whatever it is, tell us what it is so we can go, oh, okay, that's no big deal.
Right.
Let us decide.
Yeah. So,
we're not 9.
You're right. Jamie Raskin, star of Stage Green, mostly sexy liberal DC, said Friday the panel will likely reveal more of its findings related to Roger Stone. They traveled to Denmark to review documentary footage related to Stone, correct? He said, I think there might be some clues that surface from the new information we got there. He's identified Stone as someone who is interfacing with the underworld of domestic violence extremists. That's in Malcolm Nance's book, too, by the way. Asked how Stone figures in the J6 story, Raskin said, stay tuned. But he said Stone saw where things were going. What do you think how much closer we're going to get with Stone?
I think it's weird that they went to Denmark to review the stuff. Like, isn't there a secure portal that we can use? Like, why are you flying to Denmark? Is it nice there this time of year? I'm just curious.
Right.
Hey, I mean, if I got a chance to go to Denmark to view some footage, I'd probably go. But obviously Roger Stone is one of the linchpins between the Team Willard, the War Room, the White House, Donald Trump, and the rioters, the Oath Keepers, the seditious conspiracists. So he's very good at staying arm's length away, but it can't last forever, right? So I think maybe some Ali Alexander information might come to light, but it'll be interesting to see. As Adam Schiff said, stay tuned. I'm really interested to see. We all kind of know how it's connected.
Yeah.
We just are waiting for that proof.
Yeah. Speaking of Raskin, I love this part of the story because everybody after Sexy Liberal DC said this is, I wish he could be president. He was asked about running, and he said he has no bloodlust for that particular office before noting his view as Congress as the preeminent branch of government. He said, I can't imagine that a former constitutional law professor from the very blue state of Maryland would be best situated to run and win. But if people tell me I'm really the one to do it, then I obviously would have to look at it because I love America. Oh, my God. Can I just say, and not just because they both happen to be stars of Sexy Liberal, Adam Schiff at the upcoming LA one. Those are two of the people I would most like to see be president, wouldn't you? Jamie Raskin and Adam Schiff, I just think are rock stars.
Yeah, just the way that they view constitutional law. I'm a little concerned that they think that Congress is even a co-equal branch of government right now. But
right,
it's supposed to be. The idealism between those two is pretty remarkable. He's going to be at LA. He's going to be at the LA show.
Yeah, along with Rob Reiner, Glenn Kirschner. Oh my God! I mean,
but not AG, huh? I'm just going to be in the audience this time.
You will be encircled with Steph Head love. One of the things we learned over the weekend, Trump's attorneys are fighting a secret court battle to block a federal grand jury from gathering information from an expanding circle of close Trump aides about his efforts to overturn the election. The high-stakes legal dispute included the appearance of 3 attorneys representing Trump in a D.C. federal courthouse Thursday afternoon, is the most aggressive step taken by the former president to assert executive and attorney-client privilege in order to prevent some witnesses from sharing information in the criminal investigation of events surrounding J6. I mean, doesn't it feel like we're playing whack-a-mole with, like, Trump hacks that happen to have been, installed like Judge Cannon? I mean, because honestly, he has no executive privilege or attorney-client privilege in this, right?
No, and he won't. And who the chief judge is overseeing the grand jury is Chief Judge Beryl Howell. She's not going to let any of this stand. And then if he appeals, it's going to go to the D.C. Circuit where he doesn't have a chance. And then it's going to go to the Supreme Court, who is 100% voting against him in the executive privilege arena. It's just, they've already set this up. I don't think it's going to take a very long time. I know everybody was concerned about the delay that Judge Cannon could put on it, but like I said, it was only 16 days. The Nixon tapes took 3 or 4 months. So, I think we're going to, and that's the case that this is based on. That's the precedent that we're using here. There is no executive privilege. And, Hirschman is basically told the Trump team, if you don't get me a court order barring me from testifying, I'm going to tell them everything.
Right.
I'm not going to do this for you. And that's when they went and tried to get this court order. That's why they're meeting with Wyndham to discuss privilege. And that's when we wonder if Michael Cohen's dream comes true, not dream, but premonition comes true, that, he takes some highly classified documents and says, I'm going to give these to Putin if you don't give me executive privilege or whatever happens.
Good God.
We'll see.
But I mean, doesn't the crime fraud exemption cover all of this? First of all, as we keep saying, he does not have, what's the word that goes with the office? He doesn't have, Travis, help mommy. Mommy's had an hour of sleep all weekend.
The word you're looking for is?
Anyway, he does not have, obviously the powers go with the Oval Office, but any other stuff he's trying to claim like attorney-client is covered. It would not be, there's a crime fraud exception, correct? For all of it.
Some of it though, I mean, like if Hirschman was asked, can I do this legally? And Hirschman gave advice, and Hirschman's advice wasn't in advancement of a conspiracy, which I don't think it would be, then that could be covered by attorney-client privilege. It could. But those things need to be fleshed out item by item. And we aren't going to know what they are because it's at a grand jury and grand jury secrecy. And of course, all of these filings with Chief Judge Beryl Howell and all of these privileges, all of this entire lawsuit is going to be filed under seal because of grand jury secrecy. We're not going to know about what was asked and what was privileged and what wasn't privileged. But the DOJ is going to be able to get the information they need because I doubt that any of the crimes are covered by privilege because of what you said. And then, of course, the executive privilege, Nixon's, that case determined, and precedent is, even if you are the current president and you have executive privilege, criminal investigations take precedent.
Right. Right. That's what we were talking about, right, Travis, the exchange with Judge Deary when they said the president. They said, are you referring to President Biden? And Trump's lawyer said, no, President Trump. And he said, the court shall note that he is a private citizen. Continue.
Former president is a private citizen.
Yeah, the former president is a private citizen. I mean, it goes with the office. He doesn't have executive privilege. So
yeah, and that's something that Trump never understood because he, the White House counsel is the lawyer for the office of the president. He is not Donald Trump's personal lawyer, for example. He can just never wrap his head around that the person wasn't president. He wasn't occupying an office that's more important than he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we? Tony in Atlanta. Hello, Tony. Welcome. Hello, Tony. Did I do it right? I don't know. It says it's on with your thing, but that's okay. No? Okay, let's try Kevin in D.C. Hey, Kevin, you are on with Allison Gill. Hello, Kev.
Well, good morning. Good morning, honored guests. And it's all love in the Stephanie Mueller family, so I'm glad by phone and by other means that they had just as much fun time with you as we did here in D.C.
Oh.
And
yes. I'm your pass-around girl. You just passed me to Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I told you, you don't belong to me. You belong to the world.
That's right.
But the thing now, do I have I've been trying to use Mary Trump as a sort of patch because I've told you about every time Liz Cheney acts human, I get more hot for her.
Oh,
and her even going to the links recently of saying that if it helps to get rid of Trump, she'll actually leave the Republican Party. I mean, she
said if he's the nominee, she will no longer be a Republican, and she said she will, campaign, right, AG, for which Democrat was it? She was talking about someone in particular. Oh, Katie Hobbs. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, here's the thing. That's why, like I say, I know you always say that underneath that she's a flop, rattlesnake, and I agree. So now I have to, everything I get hot for her, I have to think of Mary Trump. They look familiar, so Mary Trump is my patch to get over my addiction.
Okay.
Because the more she acts human, the more I want to. But seriously,
okay.
What do you guys think of? Do we really? I've seen a recent poll that has Democrats ahead. Is it time to get the Partridge Family and get happy?
No,
still,
no.
Okay.
Do not, right, Allison? Do not get happy. Do not get happy. Just vote. Get 10 other people. Register. Make sure you're registered. Vote. We can't this early or this late, right? Look at polls, pundits. Just don't get either way. Don't get depressed. Don't get happy. Just put your head down. Vote.
It feels like we don't get a chance to get happy. We're like November 8th, we were all super happy. November 7th, I should say, in 2020 when they announced that Joe Biden had won. And then January 5th, like the night, like midnight January 5th, going into the morning of January 6th, when we learned that Ossoff and Warnock had won, we were like, yes, we have the White House, we have the Senate, we have the House. And then like 10 minutes later, they attacked the Capitol. Yeah. And so we had that little slice of happy. So I'm looking forward to an entire December of joy, but we have to put in the work right now.
Yeah. So sorry. Wait, what was the day? I got to meet Senator Warnock recently and hear him speak. It was January. Which day did he and Ossoff, did we know for sure? It was the day after.
January 5th.
January 5th. And
that was the election. And we woke up and it was midnight when we learned that they won. And the very early morning, January 6th.
Yes. But he talks about that a lot. That he said, what we felt on January 5th. We elected the first African-American, the first Jewish senator from Georgia, for God's sakes. And he said, and then January 6th happened. But he said, America, we are January 5th and January 6th. And, we have to make sure that January 5th wins again in these midterms, right? Because that's who we are as Americans. In the majority, as Ellie Mistal just told us earlier, Allison, we are the majority. We have to act like it. We are more January 5th than we are January 6th. That is not the majority of Americans.
100%. We're winners. We need to act like it. And then we will have more than 10 minutes of joy.
Yeah, exactly. Allison Gill, idea person, by the way, tweeted wondering if anyone's thought of pitching a sitcom to Scott Baio, Kid Rock, Pat Sajak, Roger Waters, Kirk Cameron, and Kevin Sorbo. Convince them you're serious, then we can all watch it and laugh. That would be awesome.
I'm into that.
They could actually call the sitcom Laughing at Them.
Just be like, no, guys, it's going to be the biggest hit. We think Hollywood's gone way too liberal. We
Yes.
need you guys. They'll be like, yeah, F yeah. And then just make this awful show where they have the worst clothes.
Like
And
Trump,
just,
like at a Trump rally.
Maybe it'll last as long as Joni Loves Chachi did.
hey, what was that?
boy.
As long as we were happy on January 5th?
I think 2
Was it-
episodes.
How many Scaramucci's?
All right, 49. Yes, our happiness lasted not even a Scaramucci.